Activity 11.2 is developing linear metric number sets. This is an activity that you can do with your students that will allow them to get a sense of the different units in the metric system. We already discussed what some of those units are. So a millimeter is the smallest linear length unit that we have. And it's about the thickness of the end of a paper clip. So I have a paper clip right here. Like if I would hold it this way, that would be about a millimeter. A centimeter is about the width of a fingernail. So you kind of see that right there. Um, your hand is roughly a decimeter wide. Remember that they're all powers of 10. So each unit times 10 gives you the next one. So 10 millimeters is a centimeter, 10 centimeters is a decimeter. A meter would be the length from the tip of your finger to the opposite shoulder if you stretch your arms wide. So if you go all the way out the tip of your middle finger to your shoulder, that's about a meter. I also say a good other comparison to the English system is if you've ever worked with a yardstick, that's about a meter stick. One of the activities that we give students, and we do this in both the English system and the metric system, we're only doing that in the metric system, is to figure out the best metric unit of measurement. A is the distance from Phoenix to Los Angeles. B is the height of a soda can. It will help if you bring one in. Maybe I'll put it next to my head about this. I mean, this was a decimeter, so a little bit more. So decimeters we discussed also aren't used as often, so probably centimeters. The thickness of a dime, here's a dime, that's the thickness of it. The length of a classroom or any room, standard size room that you're in. And then the distance between Earth and the sun. So for each of these, I'd like you to circle the one that would be the best. You can measure it in all these units, right? But one is more appropriate than the others. And I think I kind of slipped on this one that the height of a soda can would be centimeters, just because we use millimeters, centimeters, and meters. We don't use decimeters as often. The next activity is where we have students estimate in centimeters. So remember that a centimeter is about the width of a fingernail. And we have different objects. The first thing you need to do is estimate. So you need the diameter of a penny. Well, my fingernails, so it's going to be a little bit more, I would say, than a centimeter. The length of a dollar bill. So if you look here, that's a dollar bill. It's a little bit shorter than this table. So if you have an estimate for what this penny is, you could probably just move your penny over and use that technique. The length of your foot. So literally look at your foot and figure out the length of it in centimeters. The length of your nose. So right here is the length of your nose. Length of your ear, top to bottom. It's right here. Your arm span is all the way middle finger and middle finger, all the way. And then your height, maybe stand against the wall somewhere, make a little mark, put a little sticky note, and then estimate your height. And then the length from your elbow right here to your wrist, which is right there. So from here, oh, that's not a very good picture, from here to here. Okay, once you are done, this is the first time you actually get to use a ruler. You're going to go ahead and use a ruler. Of course, we want one that has both measurements in inches and in centimeters. So go ahead and measure everything in centimeters. The one that is going to be a little bit, longer lengthwise is going to be your arm span and your height. You probably need to use, if you have any tape measure, or maybe you can do it in segments. Have somebody help you. This is probably a two-person job if you use a ruler, because you can flip it over. But write the actual measurements next to it. Number 3 is a part that students love. These are supposed to be true. That doesn't mean they are on your body or my body, but it's supposed to be true that the length of your foot is the same as the length from your elbow to your wrist. It's supposed to be true that your height's the same as the distance of your arm span, and your nose and your ear have the same height. And then the last activity, even more specific, is where we give students a choice with both that number part and the unit of measure. So a measurement answers always has two parts. It has a number part, numeric part, and then it has your units. So the first activity, we just set the units, like this looks like it's best. Then we start thinking about what centimeters were. And now we're going to go and estimate your height, the length of your pinky finger, the height of a typical basketball player in the NBA, the distance from Los Angeles to San Diego, the height of an adult giraffe, and the length of a typical automobile. So these are all best guesses, and then feel free to look them up if you want to.